What's going on, Wix Nation? MPS here from Wix Training Academy, and today I am going to reveal to you a skill and a tool in Wix that will open your website to endless opportunities. That's right, I'm going to teach you how to create Wix Code or Corvid by Wix databases and dynamic pages using Wix. And I promise you, this tool is absolutely insane once you start to master it, because you can create anything on your website. Hey, if you're excited to get into this, I'm excited to present it to you, and I would love to have you join our Wix Nation community if you haven't yet already. It starts by clicking that subscribe button, turning those bell notifications on, and you'll instantly plug into a thriving and engaging Wix Nation community. In fact, the largest global Wix training community here on YouTube. I'd love to see it in there, but until then, until you click that subscribe button, let's jump into the content. Okay, so we're here in the Wix editor, and before you can even start using the databases and dynamic pages, what you have to do is you have to go up here to dev mode. You'll hover over it, turn on dev mode. This activates your Corvid by Wix or Wix Code development tools. You'll see your page code comes up, your properties panel, and your site structure. That's not where we're going to be spending our time. Where we're going to spend our time today, first and foremost, is over here at our content manager. Your content manager is your database manager. This is where all of your data is stored. To create your very first database, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and create new collection. You'll start creating the collection. A collection is a database. That's what Wix refers to as your database. You can use a preset, which is actually a really nifty tool. It comes preset with dynamic pages already set with your database. But if you'd prefer to start from scratch, which is what we're going to do, so that way you get the full in-depth lesson, that is fine too, and you'll just take it from scratch, because sometimes you don't need dynamic pages for every data set you create. Perfect. We'll start from scratch. We're going to go ahead and give this collection a name. We're just going to call it profile. And we'll just mess around with like a user profile in this database. Set collection ID. We'll keep it profile. And then what's this collection used for? I'm going to go here and I'm going to change it to custom use. However, you have a couple options. You've got site content. This means any data that's in here, anyone can view it. Form submission means that anybody that comes to your site, member or not member, can submit data if you have a way for them to submit data into your database. Member-generated content means only members that are registered to your site can submit data to this database via a form or whatever upload submission tool you have given them to upload the data. Members-only content means only members can view content from this database. And then members-only form submission, again, only members can submit data to this database. And by the way, member generated content means that member can also edit the data that they submit in the database. Then you've got private data, and private data means that only admin or site managers can actually see the data that's submitted to the database. And lastly, custom use. The reason I like custom use is because you get to set each of the permissions. So I'm going to go ahead and press custom use, set up custom permissions. We get to choose who reads content from this collection. For right now, I'm going to say anyone can read content. Who can create content? I'm just going to say anyone as well. And then who can update? Anyone, just for the sake of this video. However, if I wanted to, I can say the site member is the one that can create content. Then the person that can update that content, site member author. It makes sense that the person that created it has the ability to upload it. And then who can delete content? I'll just say site member author, because in a lot of cases, it makes sense that the site member author, the person that originally created it, can edit that data and also delete that data. But we're going to go ahead and make it easy, and we're just going to keep it at anyone. So that means anyone that wants to upload, view, update, or delete the content, kind of like Wikipedia, can come in here and do it. And then we're going to set and create collection. Once we do that, Wix is going to work its magic, and what's going to happen is this database is going to open up. It's going to open up here in our dashboard, because Wix has a new system that they're actually opening databases in all Wix apps natively in the dashboard for just a more clean, modern, user-friendly look. So now that it's open in here, we see there's a title field. No matter what you do, this title field will always be there. It cannot be deleted. You can use it if you want, but otherwise you can just keep it there and it'll be rendered null if you don't use it at all. It doesn't make or break, but it's default by Wix. One of the first things I want to tell you about databases is you'll see this sandbox right here. This is a very key indicator. If it is in sandbox mode, this is like your playground, which means that any data in here can be viewed in preview mode on the editor, and it'll be used in the editor to view and make sure you're on the right track when you're building out and developing. However, any data that's in your sandbox mode is not in your live database. So if we click this sandbox, you can see there's also a live version. When we click this live version, we can see nothing exists currently, because what happens is what's in the sandbox means it stays in the sandbox. It's only testing data. Whatever is synced or sunk over to live will show on your published website. So there's two key distinctions there, and you need to know those distinctions, especially if you try to go test some of the data you've just worked with in your editor, and then you go to your published website and it's not showing up. That's the reason. Now, here's the way to combat that. If we go back to our sandbox, simply what you would do is once you have data in here, you would sync sandbox to live, and then you would go ahead and sync that data from your sandbox to your live version. Your website has to be published in order for you to do that. There's tip 1 with the databases. Tip 2, this is how you add fields. So let's just say we're creating a user profile page with a name, a profile picture, and a bio. What we would do is we would go ahead, press this add, and then I'm just going to name this full name. And now for the field type, I'm going to choose text because it's just going to be text. It's just going to be name. So I'm going to click save, and that's how you add a field. Then you can go ahead and click off of that, or you can manage all of your fields here. You'll notice there's a bunch of hidden fields too. ID, owner, created date, updated date. These are default in Wix as well, and this is how Wix tracks some of your user data. ID, owner, created date, updated date. These become really useful when you're building out a website that requires a lot of member orientation, a lot of member directed content, because it'll allow you to create, client portals that shows data only to that logged in user. So it shows only their data to that user, stuff like that. And that's where it starts to get a little bit more sophisticated. But if you'd like to see a video on that, just let me know. So we got full name. Then we're also going to add one called profile picture. And I'm going to come in here, add profile picture, except the field type on this one is going to be image. Now, if we go back to field type, I just want to show you this right now. You can see there's a variety of different field types we can add. We can add a Boolean. This is like a checkbox. We can add numbers, dates and times, time itself, rich text, which is different than text because rich text actually allows the text to be styled in the database, add different fonts, font sizes, colors, paragraphs, bold, italicized, underline, stuff like that. Regular text cannot be changed like that in the database and will then only show as text on the dynamic page. We've got multi-reference, which allows you to multi-reference databases, reference multiple databases. This is a brand new field. URL, this allows you to pull a URL. Documents allows you to upload documents. Video allows you to upload video. Audio allows you to upload audio. Address, you're able to pull from Google Maps, and if you use the API key, you can actually directly go right to Google and pull up directions to an address. Tags allows you to create tags. Maybe you're creating the next YouTube. There's video tags. You can group stuff via tags. And then media gallery. This allows you to add multiple images in one time. And that's what all the fields do. This is a profile picture. We're going to keep it an image. And then lastly, we're going to add one more, and we're going to call this bio. This one, we are going to use our rich text. Give the person the ability to style their bio rather than just keep it standard plain old text. And we're going to click save. Now we have multiple fields here in the database. These fields are ready to go. Now we need a way for people to submit data to them, and then we obviously need a way to display them, which is the dynamic page. However, before we do that, I want to direct your attention to a couple of the things. If you want to, go ahead and click this. You can import items from a CSV file straight into your database. If you've already got the fields matched up, it makes it really easy. Secondary to that, you can actually export your entire database to a CSV file as well. This is nifty if you're updating data a lot or pulling data a lot from your website, from your database. If you want to add a new item in your database, you would click new item, and there's a nifty upload tool right here. Allows you to enter full name, profile picture, bio. This is only on the admin side. If you want to give site members a way to do this, you have to create a way to actually upload that submission. And then lastly, if you see we can sort data, you can add sorting by names, titles, the order A to Z, Z to A, or you can also filter data. And you can come in here, you can choose title contains, name contains, and you can figure out what exact data you want to filter, so that way you've got some searching and filtering capabilities right here in your database. You can see you can also search it as well, and then that gives you the ability to search through your database, filter your data, do more in-depth research on the data in your database. That's how you create your database. Now let's go back to our site and create a way to upload into that database. So what we need to do to allow someone to upload into the database is we have to create a custom user input form. Going to do this really quickly, really easily. What you'll do is you'll go to add, and then you'll go down to input. Okay, so we've got a name input, so we need one for our name. We're going to go back to this. We've got a upload. We need an upload button, so that way someone can upload a profile picture. And then lastly, if we go back there, we also need a rich text field. So we go to, we go to text, and we scroll down to rich text box, and we pull in a rich text box. This covers all three fields that we have in the database: full name, profile picture, bio. Now what we need is we need to add a data set to the page. To do this, we're going to go to Content Manager, add content elements, and we are going to add a form data set because someone is uploading data on the page. What we do is we now connect this data set to the database itself. So we'll double click it, and we will connect this collection to the profile database, and it will be write-only mode because people are submitting data. Okay, so now the reason we add a data set is the data set is like the glue between the data on this page that's being submitted and the database. The data set's the thing that helps it carry the data to the database so that way it's stored. But what we have to do is we have to connect these fields to that data set. So to do this, we're going to click this little connect to data button. We are going to do value connects to full name because this is the full name field. And you'll see it says element was successfully connected. And it'll turn green when it's successfully connected. Then we'll come in here, we'll do the same thing for profile picture, connect to data, connects to profile picture, and it's an image field. And then lastly, we'll come in here, we will connect to data, and we will connect this one to bio, which is the rich text. Now all we're missing on this page to make this a complete user input form that will submit data to the database is a submit button. So we'll come in here, we'll go to button, and you can add any button you'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and add this button right here. And what we will do is we will connect to data. This click action connects to submit, and we will click submit. Then here's what's cool. After the data is submitted, you can choose, if it was successfully submitted, where the user goes after that. You can choose to have them stay on this page, go to a dynamic page, or link it to another page or web address or anchor on your website, or even a document. And that's the beautiful thing with the database and the data set and the sophistication behind the submit button. For right now, we're just going to have it go back to the home page, which is the page we're on. So nothing fancy is going to happen. So now we've got our form here. This will submit data to the database. Now our last step is to create the dynamic page that will accept the data and display the data. Okay, so how we're going to do that is we're going to go up here to profile, and then we are going to click these three little dots, and we are going to click add a dynamic page. This happens right off of our database, and we'll click add dynamic page. Wix is going to work its magic. It's going to add a dynamic page. You'll see it gives you a preset dynamic page, which is nice. It has a repeater on it. It has some text. It's got the goods on it. However, we're not going to use that. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to delete that. And you can see it already comes preloaded with our dynamic data set. If we click on this, it'll pull up to manage content because it's already connected to the database. However, we're going to click settings, And what I want to show you is the details here. So you can see it's already connected, and the reason that this data set is already on the page is because we went straight to the content manager and created a dynamic page for that specific database. So we didn't have to manually do it and add the data set and all that good stuff. However, you'll notice that the mode is set to read only. This means all the data on this page is only able to be read. It's not able to be manipulated, edited, or added to. That's what that means. And the number of items, this is just if you have a repeater, how many items will be displayed in that repeater. This is the data set for that page. Now we have 3 fields that we want displayed. We want full name, we want a profile picture, and we want a bio. The way we're going to do this is we're going to go to add. We are going to add text, and this text is going to be for our full name. Okay, I will go ahead and type in full name. Next, we're going to go to add. We are going to go to image. We are going to go to my image uploads. And for the time being, you can just pull any random image you'd like. I will go ahead upload. I'll come pull by. I'll type in MPS. And there's a picture of me in Boston. So we'll take this and we'll use it as a placeholder. Now, if you'd like to edit the image on this page, you can come in here. You can go to crop. And you can crop it. You can crop it into a circle just like that. And then you can press good. And then bam, you've got a cropped circular image for a profile picture aesthetic. And then lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to come in here to add, and we're going to add text for our bio, except we're going to use a paragraph for this because it's a rich text bio, usually a little lengthier, and then we're going to add that. Now the data set is already on the page. Just like with a form submission into the database, we need to pull the data out of the database and display it on the page, which means we have to connect these different elements to the data set, which we'll pull from the database. To do that, you're going to go over here to full name. You're going to connect to data, and then see it's already connected to profile, and this text connects to full name. Right here, we're going to go to profile. We are going to come in here, image source connects to profile picture. You can also link it if you want as well. And then last, we're going to come in here. We're going to connect to data, and text connects to bio, rich text. So now what we have is we have just in one simple video created a solution for you to create a database, for you to have your user submit data to the database, and for that data to be displayed on a dynamic page. And if we go ahead and walk you through it, I'll show you how it works. So if we go to site menu, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to press save, and then I'm going to go to preview, and I'm going to do it. So we've got our name, Michael Strauch. I'm going to add a file. Let's see if I can just pull a random picture. I'll just pull my last thumbnail, and then I'm going to add a bio. My name is MPS. I love creating content. And then bam, we'll come in here, content, just to throw it off, make it a little different than regular text. Now we would click submit, or this button would typically say submit, and you would design this how you want to design it. We'll click that, and then the data has been submitted, and it stayed here on the home page. Now, typically you could link this submit button to like a dynamic page or a different page on your website. However, what we're going to do now is I'm going to go to the published version, or I should say the preview version of that dynamic page, and see if we got our data on that page. And if we preview, we can see the data was now added to this as a dynamic page. The full name is shown, that thumbnail or profile picture is shown, and then that bio is shown. Just like that, you have created a seamless solution, and this one system can open a world of opportunity on your website to create a bunch of magnificent things using databases and dynamic pages. If this video helped you out, I would kindly ask that you drop a like down below, comment if you've got any questions whatsoever, and lastly, I would love to have you in our Wix Nation community. It all starts by hitting that subscribe button, turning those bell notifications on, so that way you never miss any content here on the channel, and you'll instantly join a thriving Wix Nation community. Better yet, we are the largest Wix Nation Wix training community on the internet, and I would love to have you. We would love to have you as a community. And again, it starts by hitting that subscribe button, turning those bell notifications on. I appreciate you watching this video. Hope you're staying safe and healthy during these unprecedented times, and I will catch you on our next one.